guys, welcome back to Sarah Beth's Wild Adventures. Today we're going to be talking about the challenges of packing up and moving away from everyone you know post-pandemic. I grew up in Idaho and lived there my whole life. So in true pop punk kid nature, I had to get out of my hometown. So I took off and I moved to Seattle. I definitely recommend that everybody should move out of their home state at least once because there's so much to be experienced. And it's just crazy how much you grow as a person when you move away from all that you've ever known. A lot of crazy stuff happened to me my first year of living in a new state, so I have so much information to share with you. And all of this was during the pandemic. I moved in July of 2020, so Seattle was pretty much still completely shut down. But moving was actually a lot easier than I anticipated it would be. So to help you out, I've put together a list of the challenges of moving to a new state. So number 1, being able to afford moving. When you move within your own city, you're most likely keeping your same job and all of your finances are going to pretty much stay the same. You already know how much food, gas, car insurance, utilities, all of those things, they're going to stay the same price. So the only thing you need to worry about is moving. When you move out of state, especially like I did, coming from small town in Idaho to big city in Washington, you're in new territory for all of these costs. In my experience, the biggest difference is the cost in car insurance. My insurance doubled when I moved to Washington, and I don't have any accidents on my record. Rent and utilities are also higher, but I do make more here than I did back in Idaho, so they kind of even out. I would recommend going online and searching for jobs and researching what your car insurance is gonna be and things like that, so you can get an idea of if that's something you can afford. When I moved here, I had at least 3 or 4 months of wages saved up, and I didn't get a job right away. I was able to make enough money doing DoorDash and other miscellaneous things to live comfortably without using too much of my savings. However, you need to plan for the worst. Just 3 months after living here, my car and my boyfriend's car were stolen right from our apartment, along with all the stuff in it, including my iPad Pro. And that set us back. I spent all of my savings recuperating from that, especially because my car was my source of income, and I ended up getting a job in a salon, which I still have today. There always seems to be plenty of jobs available if you aren't picky about what you do, but that's definitely something you should have planned out, if not secured, before you move. Number 2, how do you make friends? This one was especially hard right in the middle of the pandemic when nothing was open and being antisocial was encouraged. I'm not a social person anyways, I prefer to just hang out by myself, but having zero social interaction at all got really lonely. It wasn't until we got jobs that we started making friends and hanging out with people. However, now that restrictions are lifting, people seem to be a lot friendlier. I heard a lot about the Seattle freeze, where apparently people aren't friendly, but in my experience, people say hi and smile in passing all the time. So if you're a friendly person who's willing to put yourself out there, then you should have no problem making friends. Another thing that you can do is join Facebook groups for your community. People in those groups are also friendly and very helpful. My boyfriend broke his foot while I was out of town in January, and a really nice couple from a group that he joined came over and helped him with food and the dogs because he couldn't do anything and I wasn't there. Friendly people are out there, you just have to be careful. Don't give out your information on the internet if you think it might not be safe in any way. Which brings us to number 3. How do you deal with missing out on family events back home? This one, in my opinion, is the hardest part of choosing to move out of your home state. When you are 500 miles or more away from your family, you're going to miss out on things. When I moved, my sister was pregnant with my first niece, and I couldn't get to Boise to meet her until she was 2 weeks old, and I still haven't seen her since. I also missed out on a really important family reunion over 4th of July weekend because I couldn't get the time off work. Things like that do make me really sad, but I knew I would be missing out on things when I decided to move. I love the area I'm in. I love the opportunities there are for me here. I love that I'm right next to a huge city, a day trip away from the ocean, and I have the beautiful Olympic Peninsula right in my backyard. It's a trade-off, and you just have to make sure you're okay with that. I have been back to Boise several times since I moved. I just can't always go exactly when I want to, and that's just life. If you want some more detail on how to move out of your home state for the first time, head over to my blog, linked in the description. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you on our next adventure.